Good day, sir. So today I will present some of the prohibited acts and penalties from the amended Fisheries Code RA 10654. First, we have engaging in unauthorized fishing activities. So this includes exploiting or breeding fish, fry or fingerlings of fishery products without a license, lease or permit, and constructing and operating fish corrals, fish traps, fish pens, and fish cages or fish ponds without a license, lease or permit. So here are the penalties. We have the administrative, 500,000 to 1 million pesos, dismantling of the structure at the expense of the offender, rehabilitation of the affected area, and lastly, confiscation of stocks. And in criminal penalty, we have 6 months imprisonment, fine twice the amount of the administrative fine, dismantling of the structure, rehabilitation of the affected area, and confiscation of stocks. So the presumption. Any person engaging in above mentioned activities without license or permit is presumed to be engaged in an authorized fisheries activity. So the presumption will not apply in the following instances. First, the vessel's gear is not engaged in fishing or deployed, and sea and net trials authorized and supervised by the BFAR, Central Office and Regional Office. Second, the engaging in distant water fishing without permit. So it is the fishing in the high seas, in the territorial seas, archipelagic waters, and exclusive economic zones of other states using a Philippine flagged fishing vessel without a fishing permit from the DA and authorization from the coastal state, and also committing acts in violation of the conditions in the fishing permit. So here is the administrative and criminal penalty. So in administrative penalty, we have confiscation of the catch and gear, fine of 5 times the value of the catch or the amounts below, whichever is higher, 2 to 9 million for small-scale fishing vessels, commercial fishing vessels, 10 to 15 million for medium scale, and 16 to 45 million for large scales. So in criminal penalty, we have 6 months imprisonment, fine twice the amount of the administrative fine, and confiscation of catch and gear. So the presumption of this is that any person in possession of a fishing gear or operating a fishing vessel in the above-mentioned areas without a fishing permit from the DA or authorization from the coastal state is presumed to be violating this provision. So who are liable for the offense? First, we have the owner. Second, the operator. And the third is the three highest officers of the fishing vessels. Third, we have the violation of harvest control rules. So this is fishing in violation of harvest control rules. So the administrative penalty of this is confiscation of catch and fishing gear, revocation of license, fine thrice the value of the catch or 20,000 pesos for municipal fishing, whichever is higher, community service in case of failure to pay the fine. 5 times the value of the catch or 100,000 pesos, whichever is for small scale or commercial fishing vessels. 5 times the value of the catch or 1 million pesos, whichever is higher for medium scale commercial fishing vessels, and 5 times the value of the catch or 5 million pesos, whichever is higher for the large scale commercial fishing vessels. And in criminal penalty, we have 6 months and 1 day to 6 years of imprisonment, fine twice the administrative fine, confiscation of catch and fishing gear, and lastly, revocation of license. So what are the harvest control rules for target reference points? So the harvest control rules for target reference points have yet to be established by the ABFAR. What are the harvest control rules for limit reference points? So when limit reference points are reached, the following harvest control rules are implemented. First, we have limitation on fishing effort. So the fishing effort per fishing must be maintained at existing level and no additional licenses will be issued. Second, determination of priority access for renewal of licenses or the licenses of CVFL who have been timely submitting catch reports will enjoy priority access to the fishing ground through the renewal of their licenses unless they have been convicted for serious violations. Third, declaration of closed seasons. Fourth, reduction by attrition. When resource level is already critical, decommissioned vessels can no longer be replaced. And fifth, other measures. And lastly, we have unregulated fishing. So this is the fishermen or fisher folk working in an unregistered fishing vessels. The corporation or enterprise operating an unregistered fishing vessels. Vessels operating without nationality but operated by Filipino or Filipino corporations. Fourth, we have Philippine flag vessels operating in areas managed by RFMOs to which the Philippines is not a party to. And lastly, Philippine flagged vessels operating in areas or fish stocks when there are no applicable conservation and management. So here are the administrative penalty. So we have fine equivalent to value of the catch or the amounts below whichever is higher. Higher 5,000 pesos for municipal fishing or community service if offended fails the fine. 100,000 pesos for small-scale commercial fishing vessels, 200,000 pesos for medium-scale commercial fishing vessels, and 500,000 for large-scale commercial fishing vessels. And the criminal penalty is that uh, 6 months imprisonment, fine twice the amount of the administrative fine, and confiscation of catch and gear. So we have also the fines are higher if committed in waters beyond national jurisdiction. So in administrative penalty, the fine of equivalent to 5 times of the value of the catch or the amount below, whichever is higher. 2 million pesos to 9 million pesos for small-scale commercial fishing vessels, 10 million pesos to 15 million pesos for medium-scale commercial fishing vessels, and 16 million pesos up to 45 million pesos for large-scale commercial fishing vessels. And in criminal penalty, we have 6-month imprisonment, fine twice the amount of the administrative fine, and confiscation of catch and gear. So who are liable for administrative penalty? We have the owner, operator, and 3 highest officers of the fishing vessels. And who are liable for criminal penalty? So the liable for the criminal penalty is the 3 highest officers of the fishing vessels. So that's all. Thank you.